Okay. So again, I welcomed everybody. I introduced you to exercise and objective. So the problem statement. So right now, I'm the current stakeholder, and I'm coming to you guys because there's an issue that I do want to solve. The issue is our current ticketing system is experiencing performance issues, including slow load times, difficulty in user navigation, and frequent errors during payment processing. I'm looking for you guys to identify the root causes of these issues and propose solutions to enhance the system's performance and user experience. So some of the user complaints is the system takes too long to load, especially during peak registration times. User finds the navigation confusing and unintuitive. Payment processes errors lead to lost sales and frustrating customers. Here are some data insights. Load times are averaging 10 seconds, which is double the industry standard. 25% of users have reported issues with the payment process. User feedback surveys show a satisfaction rate of only 2 out of 5. Are you guys following along so far?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now moving on to the business constraints. So one of the constraints is that our company has a limited budget for technology upgrades. Changes must be implemented within the next 3 months to be ready for the upcoming event season. And any solution should not disrupt the current system's functionality during implementation. So I want to give you guys a few minutes and I want you to consider the following. First, reflect on the problem statement and constraints. So I'll pull it up to the problem statement and constraints again. But I do want you to consider the following. What are the most critical issues based on user feedback and data? What might be the root causes for each issue? And what initial ideas do you have for solutions that fit within the constraints? So again, I'm just gonna go up to the problem and the constraint. So I'll give you guys a few minutes and then we're gonna work through it together. So I'll give you guys a few minutes just to work through it. So it's 10:40 right now. Is 10 minutes enough for you guys or is that too much time?
Um,
Mm,
Maybe 15. I don't know.
15 minutes?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So 15 minutes. I want you guys just to go through it and then we're gonna all talk to it. There's no wrong answer. We're gonna walk through it all together, okay? But I
All
just want
right,
to,
sure.
Okay.
because these are some of the issues that you guys are going to be coming across as a BA
All right.
with system like this, business constraints and everything. And you're gonna have to be a little bit
Okay.
intuitive to find the answer. So that's why we're just doing this exercise.
All right.
Oh,
Okay. So 10:55, you guys will be ready. That's right.
Sure.
okay. Yeah.
So again, I'll be here. I'm just gonna be waiting for you guys and you guys can work on the exercise, okay?
Sure.
Sure.
Is everybody back?
Hi, Toby. I'm so sorry. I think I missed a lot today.
No, like I said before in the earlier class or earlier on, we actually finished all the lessons before. So right now, today's was just to run through an exercise about like how it might be in the life of a BA. So I'm the stakeholder, and right now I just ask some questions from Anita and Charles. We're gonna go through it together. So
Okay.
we can also do that. And then if there's any other questions you guys want to ask me after we're done the exercise, I can do that too.
So we're done with all the lessons and
Yes.
stuff.
Yes. And I
Toby,
still
I have a question. I know you recommended the data camp for learning all the skills, like all the languages.
Yeah.
So which ones do you prefer? Like, because for me, right, if I wanted to start learning, which one should I start from? If you could.
I would say probably Excel. If you don't know Excel, start learning Excel. I'm still learning Excel every day. Learn about VBA, VBA, pivot tables, all that. Then moving on, I'll say the second language is probably SQL. So if you know those two languages, you should be able to, you should be pretty good.
Okay. And for like data camp, it's unlimited. We can, once we have subscribed it, we can learn as much as we can. Is that what it is?
Yes, you can learn as much as you can.
Okay, that's fine. Because I know the last lessons that we discussed, it's usually, it's more if we can just learn the languages from them.
Yep. So if you can do that, you should be good.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so is everybody ready?
Yes.
Okay. So Charles, Anita, and actually let me just say the problem solving to Nav so she can catch up again. So right now what I'm doing is I'm the stakeholder. I've asked you guys the BAs. I want you guys to analyze issues with the fictional ticketing system, and I would like you to see if you can propose viable solutions while considering the constraints and stakeholder impact, which is me. So the problem statement is our current ticketing system has experienced performance issues, including slow load times, difficulty in user navigation, and frequent errors during payment processing. We need to identify the root cause of these issues and propose solutions to enhance the system's performance and user experience. The complaints from the users, it takes too long to load, especially during peak times. The users find the navigation confusing, and the payment processing errors lead to lost sales and frustrated customers. From the data that was collected, the load times are averaging 10 seconds, which is double the industry standard. 25% of users have reported issues with the payment process, and user feedback surveys show a satisfaction rate of only 2 out of 5. The business constraints is our company has a limited budget for technological upgrades, and changes must be implemented within the next 3 months to be ready for the upcoming event season. Any solution should not disrupt the current system's functionality during implementation. So what I've asked them to do is consider the following. What are the most critical issues based on user feedback and data? What might be the root causes for each issue? And what initial ideas do you have for solutions that fit within the constraints? So whoever wants to answer first can go ahead. For what are the most critical issues based on user feedback and data?
It's the critical issue they face is about the system performance. It's occurred during the registration and payment process times during.
Okay, so sorry, say that again for me.
Yeah, this system they face poor system performance when
Sorry.
registration as well as when they doing payment processing.
So when they're doing payment processing, what happens?
The action is not carried out well due to the low system performance. Poor system performance or bad system performance.
Okay.
So what might be the root cause of this issue is with the it's regards with the non-functionality requirements.
So before we move on to that one, I just want to get some more critical issues.
Okay.
I asked Charles. Charles, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, yeah. I think some of the critical issues might be the payment gateway, whatever API that the system is using to take payments onto their system. There could be an issue with it, and so the root cause of that is probably maybe UI issues where like whenever you're trying to make a payment, you have payment like basically poor user experience. So users find it difficult in trying to navigate how to make payments, and so it causes friction in the system, which probably causes probably root cause.
So you would say, okay, so we're doing so the issue, what would you say is the issue for issue 2 before, and then we're gonna move on to the impact. What would you say is the issue?
So I'll say like payment gateway issues, payment gateway integration issues, sometimes like that. Yeah.
Payment gateway integration issues. Okay. Okay. And then what would you say is the impact?
The impacts, well, the impact of that could be users not being able to complete payments during the system usage. So it leaves it hanging, which causes some sort of an overload into the back end, causing database issues. I don't know if
No, I understand. Is there any other issues that you guys came up with? No other issues? Okay, so let me.
I also think whenever during the design of the platform, whenever the UI interface is not really user friendly, it could cause issues as well. Like the UX or the UI of the platform can also make it like it will hinder users from completing their tasks like effectively.
Okay, so ineffective user interface design.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what you said was that the system, it's not user friendly. So when the users go on the system, they're not able to really navigate.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then I would want to find out like whenever an application or a system is being designed by programmers, when there's issues with users trying to navigate their way around the problem, could there be like maybe bugs, like the coders or the programmers had issues with trying to like design the app?
So that can be, it could be multiple things. For example, you are correct. That could be an issue. It could be something that the QA team missed, the IT team and the QA team missed when creating the system, and it's not working well. So in that aspect, the system itself, there are bug issues when, for example, I'm not relating to this example, I'm not particularly relating to this example, but another one where someone goes to the cart, it's not clicking. When you click it, it's not opening, or you can't add nothing to your cart. That may be a bug issue. But another issue that can arise with that, which was stated in the problem statement or some of the causes for concern for other users, is that users don't know really, they're not able to navigate the system. So what happens was that you can say that they found it very confusing. So from the feedbacks that were done from those users, they found it very confusing to navigate the system. So that won't be a coding, that you can say won't be a coding error, but it might be more on the design team where they didn't design it to make it user-friendly, where the specific stuff that the users has to use on the platform is not is not arranged in a way that makes it user-friendly or for people to quickly navigate and use the system. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. Nav, is there anything that you might think of? I know I think you weren't given a lot of time, but is there any other issues that you might feel that we can write down?
Right now, no, because I have to go through it again.
No problem. Okay.
Sorry about that.
How about Anita? How about you? Is there any other issues that you think that you've thought of?
Hello?
Okay.
Uh, the second issue which I want to point out is regarding the user interface, that it is not much friendly for an end user to navigate.
Okay.
So yeah,
I guess so. We can move on to the next question now.
yes,
So Anita, you gave the first one. What
yes.
do you believe will be the root causes?
So it would be due to the poor non-functional requirement is the base here for poor system performance, because
So,
it's not designed
can you say that again?
it's not designed well to hold that much users. That's why it's making trouble in registration as well as payment time, because because in the system can't afford or hold that much end users at a time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, I think the backend technologies are now a lot outdated.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you believe that for the issue one, the system is not designed well to hold that much users, which may be due to outdated technology and the backend processes are not optimized. Is that
Yeah.
okay? Charles, you gave me issue two, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell me what you believe the root causes are for issue two?
Okay. It could be that's the the payment processor might be slow or not optimized enough. So then users kind of have issues with transaction errors. So the root cause might be because the payment processor API is slow, not up to like the optimal standard.
Okay. So let me ask you this, Charles. Since I'm trying to figure out the root causes, what
Yeah.
what else do you think might be a part of that? Since we know there are different teams, as a BA, you're going to be interacting with different teams.
Yeah.
Do you believe, for example, do you believe there wasn't enough testing? Because remember how we gave there's data points. Let me bring it up again for you. So it says that 25% of users have reported issues with the payment process, and the loading times are averaging 10 seconds. Do you think that might be?
Yes. That yeah. So if it's not tested properly,
Okay.
then issues like that will come. So yeah, I strongly believe so. Yeah. Yeah, the testing.
And I want to ask you, so you said it's not been tested well. What kind of testing do you think they should have done if it hasn't been tested well? Do you remember?
So I think they kind of performance tests, right? Maybe stress test, usability testing. Those kind of tests would have actually helped uncover the issues that might come up.
Yeah. So again, you believe from the root cause for issue 2 is that the payment process has not been tested well. So there hasn't been enough rigorous testing, which could include UAT testing or stress testing. Is that correct?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay. So Nab, I might pick on you a bit. Just I wanted for last issue 3, ineffective
Okay.
user interface design. What do you
Mhm.
think might be the root cause for that?
In terms of user interface design,
And so ineffective user interface design, what would be like you can say evidence or stuff you can say for that?
well, it's the design part. I would say with the user interface. So, whoever was taking care of designing that particular website or app, they should have. So it could be a coding part too, I believe. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying that the issue is because whoever took care of designing the website / app did not take into factor how the people interact with the system and did not make it user friendly, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So next is going to be I'm going to go back to Anita. Solution 1 for your issue that you brought up. What do you think will be a viable solution to fix that? Remember, it doesn't need to be correct. It's just from what you saw so far, what do you think might be a solution to help with the system performance?
With
What can you?
limited technology updation is required
Okay.
to enhance the performance.
So, okay, remember, I'm going to be the stakeholder here, so I want to interrupt and ask you a question. One of the issues that our company is facing, though, is that we have a limited budget for technology upgrades for this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was.
So I'm just playing devil's advocate, the stakeholder. I'm just bringing up this issue to you. How would you go about that? Like, when you propose a solution, that to you, what would you have said? Like, how would you go about that?
Okay, so the technology updation is it's considered as a solution for performance enhancement.
Yeah.
But when it comes to I mean, it's a challenge that it is the company is not able to upgrade their technology due to their certain constraints.
Yep.
So redesign is also not an option here, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's an existing system, so we can't. Like I'm a
There's
bit
no
confused.
there's no wrong answer. I'm just being difficult. That's it. I'm not like there's no wrong answer. I'm just being difficult. I just want to prepare you like how it might be when you have in a real life case. That's it. There's no wrong answer.
That's true. But for enhancing the performance, it's merely depends on the system. Actually, the performance, the system itself has to work well to
And
accommodate that much users and make it convenient while using. But I'm a bit confused.
no, so what I just brought that up to say that you might like remember how we talked about there's difficult stakeholders that you might come across. I was being a little bit difficult with you. I just wanted to right now I just want to throw that in the loop like just throw that to you. But in some certain situations, you stated before that this is a system technology, even though the company has a low budget for it, sometimes sometimes you do have to present that case that we need more funding. So like when something like that arises, you can say that you gave the answer. This is a technology update that with
Required.
with this update, it is required, and the initial investment you're putting into it, you can see a greater return. Because remember, as a BA, that's what you want to do. You want to analyze the problem, you want to be able to
Okay.
present a solution, and you also want to be able to present the solution you're presenting. You want to be able to provide evidence to back it up. Now, again, remember, I know this is proposed solutions. We're still going to work through it, but what I was asking you is just when something like that arises, I don't want to say you have to stand your ground or be argumentative, but you do have to state that we need, because at the end of the day, this technology does need to be updated. So
Yeah.
even if there is a low budget, you have to present your case as to why this needs to be implemented. If you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yes, I understood. Yeah, that like budgeting is also it is the main
Yeah.
factor that the stakeholder has to consider.
Yeah.
Because for updating the technology, that is the only one option.
Yeah, and that there you go. That's the only option.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Charles, how about for you? Salute for your problem. What do you think is a viable is a solution that you want to offer up?
So I think because the company's budget is limited, maybe when they use lean testing and like conducting limited user testing for a small group of people so that can gauge how well the system will do, and also maybe continuous monitoring through like maybe KPI to find out, like for instance, the error rate times and then the effectiveness of the platform as well.
Okay, that's good. I can even add to that. How about, remember when we talked about, so we talked about there hasn't been enough, the testing hasn't done well.
Yeah.
But as a BA, I want you guys to, when you guys are looking at a BA, when you guys are analyzing a problem, I know it's system related, and a lot of you guys are probably trying to get into the tech industry, but remember, there's also business processes that can be improved. So what I want you to think about is this: since we know that there might have not been, the testing might not have been done well, so there's no rigorous testing, how about improving the quality assurance process of how it's done? Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah.
So what that would involve is you probably have to work with the QA team, sit down with them, seeing how they're doing it right now. Going maybe, of course, it's probably going to be a little difficult. I know that this is just a fictional example, but I just want to give you real life, just giving you scenarios that once you might sit down with the QA team, you see how their current process is right now. Now, in that time, you might have to go with other SMEs, subject matter experts, to pick their brains to see how it can be improved and then implement those improvements so it can catch those problems so they don't arise again. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you guys understand what I'm, if you don't,
Yeah.
I can say it again. If you guys want me, or I can. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yeah, so I want to find out, so when the stakeholder analysis or communication is not properly done, could that be an issue too? Because then we're able to identify who does what, and so when an issue comes up, we
Sorry,
can't really.
Charles, can you say that one more time for me? I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I want to find out if the improper stakeholder analysis could be a problem.
What do you mean by that?
So in terms of the testing,
Yep.
right? If the stakeholder analysis is not really done well, we may not be able to identify the customers, the support team, the IT, and who's supposed to do what. And so the like you mentioned, the business processes, the whoever is required to do certain tasks with regards to the system, we may not be able to identify them well if the stakeholder analysis is also not done properly. Is it an issue?
It is. You're right. That's a good point that you brought up. And what I would suggest in that aspect is when the stakeholder analysis is done, it differs from each organization. It might not be on the role as the BA to do. It might be. In my current role right now, when we're completing projects, that is not my role to do a stakeholder analysis. That's already done by the project coordinator or project manager. As I said before, that can be different in each organization. So I don't want to give you saying no, the project coordinator is going to do it or you're going to do it. It changes for each role. but you're 100% right. A stakeholder analysis needs to be done, and it needs to be done well and effectively, especially with the issue that I brought up with Anita, where we talked about the constraints, or even not with Anita, with you, when we talked about the quality assurance not being done right and improving the processes. So you would have to know the individuals you're going to talk to with regards to that. So that's where stakeholder analysis is, and you're going to see also like how it's being difficult with Anita in the beginning. That's something you could also want to know during the stakeholder analysis, is the challenges that you might face when you come across the stakeholders, and how you'll be able to interpret that language to them, or interpret how your findings in a way that they will be able to take in. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It does.
Okay, and solution 3. Nav, I want to ask, what do you think, what's a solution that you think that can be done for the user interface?
So again, it comes down to the designing team. So whoever is designing, again, they have to make it more easier for the people to navigate through the system,
Okay.
to make it more user friendly. So I think it's on the designing team that they should redesign user interface.
Okay. So now I'm gonna pick your brain a little bit. I want to ask, what are some things that you, and everybody can answer right now, how would you go about that when you want to redesign the user interface as a BA? What do you think your role would be in that?
To communicate with the ID team that this is the issue that we're facing right now. And this is this is the feedback that we have got from the users, that they are not able to navigate through the system. And it's becoming the biggest problem right now. So I would offer them the list of the problems that on the business perspective, and ask them that if we can implement some solutions, and if they can also, within the budget, if we can redesign the user interface. So I believe that would be my role here.
Okay. And Anita, I'm gonna ask you, how would you go about, if you're the BA, how would you go about collecting feedback? What are some techniques or tools you might use?
Yeah, like surveys,
Okay.
then interviewing with the stakeholder. I mean, how the system works and all.
Okay.
So in this way, we collect the information.
Okay. How
Then,
about, sorry,
yeah.
keep on going.
No, you can.
Okay. And my next question for Charles, what kind of tools would you be using for this user interface when when you're trying to redesign the user interface? What tools do you think as a BA you'd be collaborating with the UX and UI team, the design team and coding team? What are some tools that you think might be used?
So some tools that can be used are like Figma. I don't know. Yeah. And then any diagramming tools to kind of give them to create the wireframe, like, so that both teams it can be used like some sort of a blueprint for the real user design.
Okay.
So
so I believe it's going to be different diagrams, as he said, models, as we talked about earlier, and also as Charles said, the wireframe thing, so that we can show them a little prototype of what we are actually looking for, and to make it more easier for them to understand.
Okay, that's correct. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna keep on going, but those are the things that I want you guys to think about when you guys eventually do get the roles as a BA. Those are some of the things you're gonna have to go about, especially like, I'll give you a quick example. Right now, I've been tasked in my job right now with updating our current procedures when it comes to, I work in the mortgage industry, which regards to discharge documents. So one of the things I had to do was you had to do a lot of job shadowing. So that's another technique that could be used for, or I wouldn't say job shadowing, but just seeing how the users interact with the system and seeing it with your own eyes, where you sometimes you don't need the pain points from to hear the pain points, but to actually see, to visualize the pain points. Aspect. So that's another thing you can use. And for proposed solutions, at the end of the day, it's not going to be solely on you to figure out a solution. There's going to be research, but as a BA, when you're given a task like something like this, you do want to think of solutions again. So when you have the meeting with stakeholders, there's something that could be, you can at least present something like how you guys said, updating the user interface, something as simple as if you don't want to spend money, updating or enhancing the quality assurance procedures, stuff like that. So that as a BA, you should always have this problem solving and analytical mind, and always trying to see, like, when you see an issue, what are some solutions that you guys can come up with to solve the issue? Does that make any sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on, what we're gonna do is that we're gonna move on to collaborative analysis and solution brainstorming. Okay. So now that you guys know what the issues were, so I guess I want you guys to work together to categorize the issues and solutions discussed. So when you guys are working together, I'm not gonna be doing anything. I'm just gonna watch you guys, and then when you guys are ready, you guys tell me. Pardon me, Nav?
Yep. No, it's all good.
Okay. So some of the questions that I want you guys to think about is, what impact would the solution have on user experience? How can we ensure the solution is implemented without disrupting current operations? And is this a scalable solution that can adapt to future growth? So, Anita, you brought up the fact that no matter what, the technology needs to be updated, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm the stakeholder. You guys are right. I read over what you said. We're going to update the budget. So we will increase the budget that will allow for updates to the technology. Okay?
Okay.
So I've introduced that. So what you guys want to do is that just discuss with each other, and then I'll give you guys, how much time do you guys need? I don't think you guys need 20 minutes. How much time do you think you need to, you don't need to write it down, but just, or someone could be the note taker, and then we'll go through it together, you guys. But instructions, I want you to categorize the issues and solutions discussed, and and then use these probing questions to solve those, with those issues and solutions once you categorize them. Does that make sense to everybody here? Okay, so you three are going to work on it. So how long do you guys think you'll need for this? I'm asking all three of you guys.
10 minutes. I don't know if everyone agrees to it. We can do it 10 minutes.
Yeah. 10 minutes.
It doesn't, you guys remember, you guys are not getting tested. I'm just, whatever you guys feel comfortable with. Is that enough time, or do you guys want more time?
Maybe 15. Yeah.
Okay. 15. Is that something that we all agree on? 15
Okay,
minutes?
sounds good.
Yeah.
15 is fine.
Okay,
15.
so 15 minutes. So you guys, right now, you guys talk amongst yourself with these questions. Do you guys remember the issues, or do you want me to post them in the chat?
If you could post them, please.
I'll do that. And then here's what you guys have to do. So you guys said 15 minutes, right? So 11:48, you guys should be good?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys talk amongst yourselves. you guys talk amongst yourself and you guys start working on that, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
User share.
Okay, Anita, you can start with your first issue and we can start categorizing them.
Okay. So here it says that instruction work together to categorize the issue and solution discussed, engage the problem questions. Like the first issue which we encountered here is about the performance.
Mm-hmm.
That's because that's reflected because of poor system. I mean, it's not updated technology.
Yeah.
So as far as the discussion with the stakeholder, it was they assured that they can redesign the budget and ready for the updation in the technology.
Yeah.
Then the performance issue will be resolved.
Mm-hmm.
So the performance is a core issue when relate with the user engagement with the system.
Mm-hmm.
So like more users can now able to register and they can make their payments without any difficulties during yeah. So I think what impact will the solution have? And this will the impact if we updated the technology, and this how the user experience will be improved with
Mm-hmm.
updated technology or technology. Uh, yeah, with the
So,
latest technology.
yeah, so the first point is what impact will solution have on the user experience? So if we are proposing, so if we are updating the technology, it's good, like it's gonna outshine like the system performance. So that
Yeah,
means, uh, as you said, more users can register,
yeah,
and um,
and there will be no um like they can even make their payments everything with the exact processing times, and there's
yeah,
no delay with that due to
and
the
then
performance.
sounds good, perfect. Charles, do you want to add something?
Um, so I I think there's also the third one. No, the last one, like if it's a scalable solution that can adapt to future growth. Did we add that one to it? Like did we answer the last one? I just want to find out.
No, we didn't.
Oh, okay. So
The last two points are not answered. That how can we ensure this solution is implemented without disrupting current operations? And
yeah.
yeah,
So for that one, I think like since there's performance issues, there could be some form of like maybe weekly or bi-weekly or monthly breaks within the system to kind of upgrade it or like redesign it, as Anita was saying. So it like the users
Mhm.
will be using the platform all right, but then there'll be times where we would have to take some time, like maybe some few hours to like upgrade the system.
Yeah,
So for
yeah. So
instance, yeah,
that's a correct point. I think that we can always to make it more smoother for the users, we can always like the system can always send out the maintenance notices
exactly,
to the
exactly.
people to just to give them the heads up that, so
It's gonna be
we that
regular
from
maintenance. Yeah,
during this time period
yeah,
there will be disruptions, and we can allocate that specific time just for
yeah,
testing and
yeah,
to implement the solution. That's right.
yeah,
And the last one is this a scalable solution that adapt to the future growth? I would like to answer this.
yeah.
I believe with the updated technology, yes, this is a scalable solution. and it will definitely adapt to the future growth because that's how we can connect to more users and it's good for the business. So, yeah, it's all about updated technology. So that's going to help us in all the ways because that's going to make it more smoother for the users. And I think that's what we want right now.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, right.
Okay, sounds
Yes.
good.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, good. So the second issue is payment gateway integration issue. To the share document.
Okay.
So with the payment gateway integration issue, so users are not able to complete payment during the system outage. So what was the solution we proposed for this one?
Yeah, so I think the solution for that would be use so this more of a technical issue. So we have to collaborate with the software development team to use like more optimized like tools to make sure that the payment gateway is more like it's more it's enabled for faster payment processes, because then the issue is that the payment processes is slow. So then when users are making payments, there's always a delayed transaction and errors at the end of the payment. So we'd have to collaborate with the software development team to find ways and means to make sure that the payment is smooth. And
Yeah, so it's more on the technical side.
yeah, so that is where the business process comes in, where we have to be collaborating with the teams that are responsible for it. Yeah.
No, that's right. So we have to collaborate again. Communication comes in hand. Yep,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right. The solution, what impact and what impact will the solution have on user experience? So once the IT team has done their part, so now we have a system when sorry, I'm losing something. So now there are no payment gateway integration issues.
Yeah.
So that means so users are able to complete even when there is a system outage. So now the IT team has designed the system in a way that users are still able to complete the transaction even if there's a system outage. So that will have a positive impact on user experience because
So, yeah, so basically users would go through the entire process without any issue. So that means that would have like there'll be a lot of like users on the platform, because then once
yes.
there's issues with them, they stop using it, right? So as long as they're able to go through the whole system, paying no issues, that is like that means like a lot of maybe revenue for the company or
Yep.
basically.
Yeah, that's right. And then how can we ensure this solution is implemented without disrupting current operations? I think the answer remains the same for the second, right? The one we discussed before,
Yeah.
like the maintenance notices, we can send that out to the people and then to the users and
Sorry.
Yeah, notify them before.
yeah. And is this a scalable solution that can adapt to future growth? So,
Yes, I
is
think
it
so.
scalable?
Yeah, yeah, it's scalable. It's scalable because then whenever issues like this come up, we always know what to do, and so like
Yeah.
there's like so yeah, so like there's a history of how we deal with issues like this. So in the future, there will be no like issues.
Yep, that's right. That's right. And I think we have the last issue that is the ineffective user interface design. So that means the user interface is not friendly, which do not allow the users to navigate the system well. So it's about navigating the system. So the solution that was proposed to this was redesigned user interface. So again, it's more on the technical side, but as a BA, as we have discussed before, we can communicate, collaborate with the ID team, to convince them that why we have to redesign the user interface. So once it's redesigned, what impact would the solution have a user experience? So the system will be more user friendly. So
Yes.
a positive user experience that's going to attract more users. It's going to make it a lot easier for the users to process the payments, and to navigate where to go exactly, what to do.
Yeah.
They would know that whenever they're using this particular system, they would know where to go. And so less frustration for people,
Yes.
saves time, and also a positive outcome for us. Does anyone want to add something to this?
No, now we have covered all the three issues, I think.
Yeah. Yep, and it's scalable solution, so that can adapt to
And
future.
then yeah,
Yep, okay. Sounds
collaboration with the quality assurance, with the quality assurance team to ensure that whatever solutions or whatever recommendations that we are giving them as BAs like are all regularly done, and then
Mhm.
we get updates from them regularly, because then we are seeing whatever it is that is happening, and then we are getting feedback from the users. So we'd have to
Yeah.
be regularly get in touch with the teams responsible, the software team, the quality assurance team, and all of that.
That's right. So continuous collaboration and daily stand-up meetings, stuff like that, that would help us to
Yeah.
be in touch with the technical team, the stakeholders, and yeah, sounds good. I think we have covered everything.
Yes, I think so.
So you guys covered everything? Okay.
I
So
think so.
now that
Yes.
okay. So now what I want you guys to do, because in this situation, what we're doing right now is that you're collecting, per se, you guys are doing like you can kind of say you're doing a discovery session, if you want to put it like that, in simple
Mhm.
terms. And this information that you guys are doing right now, this is what's going to help you when you guys are in a role like this to help create a business case. So do you guys all remember what a business case is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just with all this information, I'm just giving you an overview of why this exercise was done, is that as a stakeholder, when I brought this issue to you guys as BAs, we wanted to improve for the future. So that's why I was asking questions about scalable growth, how it's going to affect the organization. Because when you're creating a business case and you're presenting this to the stakeholders, you want to understand. They want to understand, like, okay, we know there's an issue, but why should we go ahead with this issue? How is this going to affect our organizations? Is this going to make us competitive in the technological landscape? Is it going to be something that we can use in the viable future? Is it something that we can use in the future? How is this going to affect our customers? So with all this information you guys are doing, you guys are going to present a business case that you're going to present to the stakeholders. This is just if you're in a position, I mean, when you get a BA position, this is what some of the things you would do to create a business case.
Yeah.
So from what you guys discussed, I want you guys to each pick one, since there's three. You guys, from one proposed solution, and which one do you believe is the most viable, or from the whole problem? So from the problem that arose, which one do you believe is the most viable? Which one makes the most sense? And which one do you think, I want you guys to also consider, which one do you guys think, among you three, which one do you think is the one that it will not take long to implement, in the aspect that you won't have to do so much work to implement this. So if you guys can, if you just pick one of the three, each of you guys give your own reason for that, and then just present why the solution was selected, how it addresses the identified issues, and what are some challenges you feel that might be faced if we implement this. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys can pick any solution. Remember, guys, there's no right or wrong answer. I'm just bringing this to you because I want you guys to be comfortable with when you guys are given solutions, you're going to have to talk in front of stakeholders. You're going to have to talk in front of people. You have to address why you believe this might be the best solution and why you're going forward with it. So I want to put you guys in that same environment and setting of how it's going to be like. So whoever wants to go first.
Okay. So I will go with the first solution itself.
Okay.
Like updating the technology.
Yep.
That when we put forward this solution, the major concern is about budgeting. So as a stakeholder, they promise that they can rework the schedule, rework the budget and supports for the update the technology. And why I choose choose this solution is because through updating the technology, the major issue with the system that the systems cannot able to accept more users and processing time. This will be cleared if it is upgraded to a new technology. Thus, more users can be registered, as well as the other system process like payment and all be carried out very well without any interruptions. So these payments are considered as the major business process in a system. So it should be carried out without any interruption. So with an updated technology, it will be fine and more convenient for an end user to even use the system. And navigation is also considered as an issue from this in the beginning. So it might also help in navigation along with redesigning. I mean, redesigning the user interface.
Okay. And
Yeah.
what are the challenges you think that will be faced in this implement?
Like if we update the technology right now, and the system is it should uh, the system with supports with the existing system design with the new technology, because the older version which we designed, I mean the older one is designed and suited for the existing system design and how it works and all. So when we do for a maintenance, I mean updation with the technology, so there might be some challenges in the implementation.
Okay. And so let me bring up another thing. So how about when it comes to training our team members? Do you think that might be another challenge?
Yeah, yes, of course. Sometimes the new technology implementation, that definitely training is required.
Okay. All right. That was good. Does anyone want to go? Does anyone want to go next?
Yes.
Okay.
So with regards to the payment issues, the solution that we came up with was to work with a payment provider to ensure that the payment processes are fast and efficient.
Okay.
And also, when users have any issues with the error, like when they get error, there should be some sort of an efficient way to redirect users in terms of any error that they receive. So that's where the support comes in. So the major issues with this is that there'll be issues with users who would want to not use the service again when that thing comes up. And so like there should be a much more efficient way to keep users on the platform when they have issues with their payment.
Okay. So Charles, how about with regarding to the issue 2 with regards to updating the current QA processes? Why do you, for that, so out of those 3 solutions that we came up with?
Yeah.
what would you say, what do you think will be some of the challenges if we go forward with updating the current processes right now?
Yeah, so with the QA, it's more, since it's more about collaboration, it's a more collaborative issue. So I don't really think the only challenges that will come with is trying to like come to a consensus as far as the like getting the solutions concerned, because it's more of a like more of it's a stakeholder meeting kind of thing. I don't know if I'm making sense, but
No, you're making sense. Remember, there's no wrong answer. I'm just
yeah,
like, remember, I'm in a stakeholder and I'm thinking like, I just want to ask questions. I'm a stakeholder. I'm asking you
yeah,
questions.
yeah.
You went through that. I'm just literally asking you questions. That's it. There's no wrong answer. So
Okay.
that's what I'm asking you. So you don't need to worry about that. You're not giving no wrong answer. I'm a stakeholder. I don't know what's going on. I sent you guys
Okay.
the task. I'm just figuring out. I'm just asking questions. That's it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So how about, for example, do you think another problem might be, because as a stakeholder, the one thing I'm worried about is that it might, like the previous one, it might take individuals to follow the new procedure. Some people might be stuck in their old ways within the procedure. Is there another thing I want to ask you guys, how do you think I could go about making sure that that doesn't happen? Just any example, like what do you think I can use?
Sorry, use in terms of what?
So for example, Charles brought up the idea of enhancing the procedure. So we enhanced the procedure, but as a stakeholder, one thing I'm worried about is that the team or the QA team that's going through all this right now, how do I know that they're not gonna, because we all know old habits, it's hard to die. For example, they're gonna be going back to the old current procedures because it might be quicker, or is the new procedure gonna be more stressful? So what I want to know is like, how can I make sure, or what can I use to keep record of that to see if those issues arise, that we can address it. So we implemented the new change. What are some things that you want to track? What are some things that, are you going to do a scorecard or something? Like, do you guys understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So I'm asking like, what are some things that we can do as a stakeholder? I'm just interested. I'm not saying your idea is wrong. I'm just interested. What are some things we can do?
Documentation.
Okay, so what kind of tools, like what kind of documentation would you say will work best for that? Because I don't know. So I want to ask you guys, what do you think, what documentation would work best for that? What KPIs or metrics should we be looking for?
So I think there are tools that helps in like tracking projects management, like how projects will be done. So maybe QA team supposed to do this. Are they doing it? Is it done? Like I believe there are tools that are meant for that. So a more efficient project management tool, like maybe Jira or
Yeah. That's right.
would help like the BA to know that this person is supposed to do this. The person is actually ongoing. This process is ongoing. This process is done, so that it gives a more like detailed view on what's like the progress we are making.
Okay. All right. And okay, that's all correct. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Charles.
So,
And I was wondering, can you walk me through for the user interface, why this solution was selected, how it addresses the identified issues, and what are some challenges you feel that might come into play?
So the solution was selected because the users were having difficulties navigating through the system. So that's why we proposed the idea of redesigning the user interface, because that's going to solve the problem of navigation. That's going to make it more easier for the users. And the anticipated challenges in implementation would be that people are like, also as a users, if I'm still facing difficulty navigating through a system, right? For example, but still, if there's a new design that's given to me, for example, like say for WhatsApp, right? So if there are new features added to the WhatsApp, do you know how always WhatsApp shows guides us through, like with the little messages that use me, or this is what this, like the status features do. So I believe on the user interface, we can add those little messages for the users that can remove the challenge of them, so that they don't feel that it's hard for them. Even if we're implementing a new design, it's there to make their life easier, not hard. So that would be one of the challenge, and I'm also giving the solution to solve that. So I think that's one point. Yeah.
So now I'm the stakeholder. I read through what you guys have all said, what you guys have all discussed. I'm bringing it back to the rest of the stakeholders. We're discussing about that. So right now, we want to think of the short term. We want a quick solution, rapid solution, you can say. So instead of it being a year's worth of project, we want a short-term fix that'll be fixed 3 to 4 months. Out of all the solutions you guys presented, which one do you think will be the most viable to do a short-term fix that we can do in like 3-4 months? And of course, it won't fix the underlying issues, but we just want a short-term fix for now. Which one do you guys believe out of all the 3 solutions would be the best one?
I think rigorous testing and enhancing the quality assurance process.
Okay, how about you, Charles?
Yeah, I regular meetings and updates would also keep the team like updated on what needs to be done and what issues that are being like that we are having at the moment.
So my question is, like, out of the 3 solutions that you guys proposed,
Yeah.
remember, I want to do, so I took all the information you guys presented to me, to the rest of the stakeholders. We were discussing, we decided that, yeah, we just want to focus on a short-term solution right now, just a quick fix. We'll focus on the long-term later on. Out of the 3, so remember, was enhancing the current processes, upgrading the user interface, and then upgrading technology. Out of all those 3, which one do you think will be the perfect one for a short-term rapid solution fix?
I think upgrading technology would be, because most of the issues are more technical than the processes. So then during our meeting, we're like, there are certain times that we can give an announcement to the users to know that okay, there are certain times that we have a maintenance upgrade. And so during those short intervals, like 2 hours daily, or maybe in the middle of the night, those hours will be used for like rigorous updates through the software development team. And so that is what I think would, since it's a technical issue than the process.
Okay. Anita, is that something you agree with too? Or what, do you have a different answer?
With this short span, that means instead of 3 months, it's better to go with the enhancing the KPIs than UAT,
Okay.
like testing and all. So that works for the short term.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'll say is that you guys are correct in the aspect of the short-term fixes. So just a quick heads up, when they usually talk about rapid solutions are usually something that can be done, as you just said, in 3 to 4 months, but they're also known to be low technical solutions. So that's why I asked you guys when asking a question. So for Charles, I want to ask you, if it's, now that I've given you that it's low technical, it's short term, why should I still go with the technical solution? Because I feel as a stakeholder, I feel like that's something that's going to take a year's worth. Because if we're updating this technology, we're going to have to update it across the whole organization. There's going to be different teams involved. We're going to have to do vendor research to see which vendor we're going to use to upgrade the technology, or in the aspect that we're going to keep it in-house and it's going to be upgraded in-house. So you don't think that might be a long?
I think we are not really updating the entire technology. It's just the payments part of it, because then during the root cause, we realized that we mentioned that the payment aspect is what makes the users kind of wouldn't want to engage on the platform, and because of how the errors are being handled. So I personally think it wouldn't be the entire thing, but then I believe the process also is also an important, like it's also a short term, more of a short term than the payment fixing.
So honestly, Charles, I actually like what you did, where I'm not gonna say you challenged me, but you brought up another reason as to why you believe that upgrading the technology is a good thing, because that's a good point. We did state that we're not looking to upgrade the whole organization technology, just the payment process. And as a stakeholder, you brought that to my attention. So that is true. So that what I'm just trying to say, again, you guys, there's no wrong answer, there's no right answer. I just want you guys to be in that kind of mindset of what's gonna happen when you guys are in meetings like this. When they give you options to present solutions, and then you have to give reasons why. Because there's gonna be a lot of times where some organizations are gonna want to do short-term fixes, long-term fixes. So that's why I was asking this question. I want you guys to kind of say being confident when you guys are presenting stuff like this. So you give your reason as to why this might happen. And Charles, I think what you did was great. How you weren't, it's not like you're being argumentative, but you still, even though I might have pushed back, I mean, even though I give another opinion, you push back to say, yes, I do believe you can still we should still do advancements in the technology way, because we're not looking to upgrade the whole or organization technology, just the payment process, which that's a good point.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So I want you guys to keep that in mind. So going forward, and then usually when it comes to stuff like this, when you guys do present as BAs, when you do present your solutions, you do work towards, you give the reasons why. What most of the times is going to happen, either when you're in a meeting with all the stakeholders, they're going to all decide there. Usually, maybe give it a vote, or people giving their input, especially if you're dealing with directors, they'll give you their input. Okay, yes, yes, yes. And then they choose an answer. Or they go back to the directors and they see the stakeholders and the directors all consult and talk, and they believe, and they go with the correct answer. Then they come to you guys and they say, we're going with that solution. So that's why I've always stated from the beginning, make sure that when you're creating something like this, or when you're doing something like this, that of course, when you're doing the overview, so when you're doing the solution, there's always data to back you up what you're saying. You can say real life scenarios or examples, how you guys all gave, which is good. You guys talked about the data, and also the issues, and you give the reason why you selected the solution, how it addresses the issues identified, and anticipated challenges in implementation. And that last one is very important, because one thing that you're gonna find that most stakeholders are risk adverse. They're any worrisome about any risk. So the challenges that might come with that, they want to make sure that it doesn't impede or disrupt the organization as a whole. So those are just things I want you to guys think about when you guys get into the role as BA. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
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 Okay. So I guess right now we can have any open floors, thoughts, questions about any questions that you guys want to ask with regards to, even as a BA, what might happen afterwards, just if there's any questions that you guys want me to answer.
Yeah, my question is, when you want to make a case for a project in a competency BA, the business case document, do you do it alone, or you identify a team that you do it, like you have like, I mean, in terms of the building the documents or writing the document? Yeah.
You're talking about writing the document, correct?
Yeah.
So I would say it matters if you're going to be working on a group project or if you're the lead BA. If you're the lead BA, you're probably going to be working on the business case yourself. But don't let like the business case scare you in the aspect of, that's why we did something like this right now. This is where you're going to have all your information, so that when you bring it to the business, when you're creating the business case, all the business case is just literally what's the issue, what's the problem, why I believe this problem should be solved, and what kind of value it brings to our organization. So that's all you're going to do. Then, of course, you're going to have it peer reviewed and managed by your team holders. Then they'll go to the stakeholders, and then they'll decide if they want to make this a long-term project, a short-term project, and go with any of the solutions. So to answer your question, if you're the lead BA, then you'll be working on the business case document yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense. Thank you.
Any other questions from anybody? No other questions? it doesn't need to be about this project. It can be about like just any other questions related to like BA work or anything like that.
So like whenever we like once we start the job as a BA, they'll provide us with the training, right?
Yes. So, what do you mean by training? Like the fundamentals of what a BA does, or just?
Not the fundamentals, like how they do stuff. I'm pretty sure they will, but because what process models they use, um, stuff like that. So,
I would say yes. And honestly, I'll probably say the most difficult thing when you guys get into BA work is really just learning the different processes, the systems, even the lingo that's in place, like how everything is. That's going to be your most difficult road ahead. It's not
mhm,
going to be, it's literally not going to be the documents, because most of the documents, they're going to give you like instructions on how to do it. So that's
mhm,
nothing to worry about. The most difficult thing is really just trying to understand the organization you're in, the industry that you're in specifically. If you guys go into the tech field, if you guys go into the tech industry, the systems that are going to be in place, you're going to have to understand them. And
mhm,
it's because sometimes it's going to be a matter of you becoming SME experts within that, which can be difficult to do. Or if you're working in other fields, like, for example, Nav, since you worked in the healthcare industry, you might have more experience in the healthcare industry than someone like Charles or even myself. So it might be quicker for you to adapt and pick up on stuff and then
mhm,
work and then become a BA. That's to tell you the honest truth. I'm going to be honest with you guys. A BA's work is not hard. It's what you're doing is just talking to people um every single day, figuring out their problems and
mhm.
just presenting solutions. That's about it. It's not a difficult job. The most difficult job is probably, I would say, when you guys are given an issue, trying to understand the issue and trying to understand like processes, technologies, how teams operate and work, different things like that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Um, so as a BA, I have a question. So in this technology, in this case, for technology upgrade and all, as a BA, we have to uh, interact with the IT team for the for the discussion. So there we need to propose the solution why I mean, already the solution is that technology upgrade. That's the solution. So we need to know more about the latest technologies or vendors or something. Is there any requirement for that, or we just uh, put forward our solutions as a BA?
That's a good question. It might be a mixture of both, in all honesty. It might be you might have to do a little bit of research on your own. Of course, they might give you some guidance. So like in the aspect of Anita, how we are talking about first about the budget
Yeah.
of that might be something that might be brought to you ahead of time. So you know that okay, I can't go over this amount that our company is looking to spend to upgrade the business itself. So
Okay, so that time we have to speak about the budget. With this budget, their constraints, and also we must include in taking the decisions, right?
yes. So what I would suggest is that like when you're given a situation like that, sometimes there are some organizations, some companies that don't want the BAs to solution anything. And then there's other companies where that doesn't come into play. It matters what kind of industry you're in. So if you're
Yeah.
open, when you're given a situation like that, one of the things that you're probably gonna have to do, for example, when I'm the stakeholder, what each of you guys might do is that you guys might go to the payment processing team and ask them, what would you like to be fixed? What would you like this?
Okay.
From the service and feedbacks that you got from the customers, you'd be like, okay, we need to work on this. What you might need to do is you might need to go to the IT team and ask them, can you guys do this? A, B, C, D. Can you guys do this? A, B, C, D. Can you guys do this? A, B, C, D. And then what they'll do, the IT team will be like, yeah, we can do that. No, we can do that. Or can you ask more questions on what they want the specific program to do, or how they want the user interface to be? Or if we're enhancing the processes, what are some things just to look out for. So it's good. It might be a little bit back and forth that you might have to do between the business side and the IT team. Does that make sense?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's purely as a business system analyst, right?
Basically, you're just what you're going to be doing. Remember, you're the bridge between the business side and the technical side.
Side.
What you're going to do is that it's just like, think of it like what's that game? Sorry, it's not coming to my mind. But just think of it like you're hearing from one thing and then you're good. You can
Okay.
say tattletaling to another person, just back and forth. That's what your job is, and to find a solution. Now, remember, you're not going to be solutioning it, but you're going to give just different ideas, basically, of what can happen, what you can do. And then you have to make sure, then it's your job to go to the IT team to make sure that it's viable. It's something that can actually be done.
Okay. Thank you.
As a new BA, are there some projects that you need to work on to show your employers, prospective employers? And what are the things that they look out for if you just come out of, like, for instance, like what you're doing, you're coming out of a program like this and then getting into the corporate world?
I can tell you from my personal experience what they're looking for. Number one thing is someone who's a great communicator, because at the end of the day, 90% of this job is about communication. So organization, but knowing if you can work together with people, because guys, to tell you the honest truth, this job is nothing really special in the aspect of you need to be specialized in something. Of course, that would help you, but your job is really, think of it as you're in school. You're just researching a project and presenting it. That's basically what your work is going to be doing. So in the aspect, what they're going to be also be looking for is, do you at least have the basic fundamental knowledge down? In the aspect of what is Scrum Master? Who's part of Scrum Master? Explain to me what Agile is. Who are the different, what is functional and non-functional requirements? Where do you put the requirements? Different things like that. You understand? So they might not be looking project specifically based. That if that's something that you want to go ahead and do, that's something you can go ahead and do. But I'm telling you right now, as a BA, the most important thing is that, one, you have the fundamental knowledge, and two, you can communicate, because your job is just going to be all about communication. And honestly, I can tell you right now, in a week, I have like close to 20 meetings a week.
Okay. Would you be asked to show examples of things you've done?
Some may, some not. It's not, it depends on the organizations. I never got asked to show anything. I have brought like projects I've worked on in the past, but it's not something that's required. Because at the end of the day, you can't really if you're applying for a job, you can't bring your past work report or the past work you've done. Your organization won't even allow you to bring that.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense to you, Charles?
Yeah.
Any other questions?
So I have a very simple question. As the BA role, right? We say that we have to identify the problem. So who is the main person it's gonna be the project manager who's gonna come up, okay, hey guys, we are facing this problem. This is what's happening. So I want you guys to work on that. So they are the first point who will know that, okay, this is how the company is doing, and then they will instruct the BA, okay, this is and from there we start, right?
So what's gonna happen is that I'm just gonna give you personal example or personal examples. Most organizations in my workplace, they filled out something called an intake request. So that intake request will be, for example, so Nav, I'm having issues with, again, I'm gonna go to the user interface. It's not very user friendly. What I'm gonna do is that I'm probably gonna email the BA team, and I'm gonna have to fill out a form. In that form, I'm gonna have to list out the problem. I'm gonna list out who's affected by the issue, how long the problem's been happening. Another question that might be asked is on the intake form is, right now, since my team has been currently facing that issue, have you guys done anything to work around that issue? And if so, how have you done it? So it's just gonna be different questions from that intake item. And then what's gonna happen is that usually the Scrum Master, project coordinator, project manager will, or even the BA, but mostly like it matters about a different organization, but the project manager, the project coordinator, or Scrum Master might look at that intake request. So they're gonna assess it for three things. One, is this even worth doing? Is this viable? Does it bring more value to the organization if we do it? For example, if let's say you're making $80,000 at your BA role, and is it worth you putting your time and I'm paying you $80,000 to fix this issue? That's only going to bring in, it's not going to even bring in $80,000 worth of revenue, or it's not going to be saving the organization and company much time. So that's something that the Scrum Master is going to have to assess. Number two, you're going to want to find out any details that might have been missing, or just let's say that the problem is something that will bring financial value. What's going to happen is that they're probably going to have to ask for more information regarding the issue so they can get a more clear picture. Number three, is this going to be a long-term project? Is this going to be a short-term project? Is this going to be a rapid solution fix? Different things like that. Once the BA figures that out, they fill out something called a response intake form to that intake request form. And then usually shouts out what are the list of steps that BA will have to do. So for that situation, Nav, me being the Scrum Master, I'm probably going to assign you to do a discovery session to figure out the pain points of what the customers are facing, review documentations from the different surveys, from the customers or the end users that are having this issue. And number three, try to give me an in-depth analysis of why they scored a 2 out of 5 in user satisfaction. So does that make sense to you, what I just stated?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. Any more questions? Okay. So that was it for today's lesson. Do you guys want to do another lesson, like an exercise like this for next lesson, or are you guys okay?
I think we should do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna send out an email to you guys.
Mhm.
And then in that email, it's gonna be from that, what we're gonna do is that I'm gonna pick a solution, and I want you guys to you're gonna host a requirement gathering session with me. Okay? So you're gonna have to come up with a list of questions that you're gonna ask for the requirement gathering session to figure out. So out of that 3 problems, I'm gonna pick one of those problems, and then we're gonna figure out a requirement gather, and then we're gonna do a requirement gathering sessions. I'm gonna send you what the issue is that we're gonna work on. Come up with at least, I would say, 4 to 5 questions, each of you guys, and we're going to conduct a requirement gathering session, all 3 of you guys, and you're going to ask me questions, and I'm going to give you the answers, and then from there, we're going to keep on going. So what I want in this exercise, what I want you guys to do is that we're going to actually think of it like a rapid solution. So that's what we might do. Think of it a rapid solution or a project. And I just want you to show how the life cycle is within each of them and how it's done. So right now, we're in the discovery set. Right now we did the discovery session. We figured out all the pain points. We figured out issues and teams that are being affected. Sorry, the issues that are being affected and different solutions, possible solutions, not immediate fix, but possible solutions. And then going forward, we're gonna host a requirement gathering session. We're gonna go into more depth detail once I send that email for the solution for the problem that we're gonna work on. And then just come up with questions that you're going to ask me so you can find a possible solution. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, Charles.
Yeah. So during the stakeholder analysis and communication,
Mhm.
is there a way to go about it? Like the question is that I was thinking if there could be a way where we can like split into groups so that we can like role play how the stakeholder analysis or communication should be, so that just a way of trying to get ready for things like that in future.
Okay. That's something we can do too. For sure.
All right.
Let me jot that down. Yeah, that's something we can do. So yeah, we can do 2 of those stuff because right now I just want to prepare you guys for the class, because what's gonna happen is that you guys are gonna have mock-up interviews with BZQA. So just preparing you a little bit of how everything's gonna go. So when you answer, they're gonna ask you possibly ask you some questions, and us doing this role play will give you more insight into how it goes. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So are BZQA going to like some sort of, are you going to do some sort of part-time work with them?
Yes.
Or
From what I saw in the curriculum, there's going to be a resume workshop, a mock-up interview workshop, and I forgot the last one. I think where you're gonna do where they might place you somewhere. I don't know. Don't I might be wrong, but that might also be something too that they might do. So with regards to that, right now this exercise is just to help you prepare for the mock-up interviews and even writing your resumes.
okay,
Okay.
sure.
All right. Any more questions, guys?
No question.
No.
Sorry. No more questions?
Yeah, no more questions.
Okay, so I guess we can end it early today. Monday, I'm gonna send you the Nav, I still haven't got your the test that I sent you.
I'll send it today, promise.
So just because I want to mark everybody's and give it back to them. So with
Yeah,
regards to that, and then we'll go over next week's class and also prepare for another part 2 of the exercise. Okay?
Okay.
All right. All right. Have a good day, everybody.
You too.
Bye. Good night. Sorry, good day.
No problem.